Welcome back, everyone, to Week 6 of the Wild West Sportsfellas.
Here we go. What's up? It's your Who Day hopeful, Captain Chris with a K.
And it's your boy Tristan.
It's your boy Kyle.
Travis.
And this is your Rocky Mountain Top, Roll Tide, Hook 'em Horn, and your host, Carlos. I would keep dwelling on Denver, but right now they got me disappointed. So right now I'm just going to kind of keep it humble and nice.
About time to change teams.
Yes, I have submitted my applications in, so I'm just waiting for a hear back. You guys, all right, we're going to dive into the college game day of the week. Also, the NFL game of the week, Week 6 picks, the DDK fantasy football lineup, Driz and Lowe's players of the week. Also, our favorite show, the Who's Hot.
And who's not?
And you guys not coordinated. not at all. But we'll try that again in a little bit. All right, you guys, before we dive in, let's go ahead and give a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Since 1990, Wichita's own Superstar Sports has everything for the fans' needs, whereas for NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, or either college. So please check them out at either the Town West Mall in Wichita, Kansas, or the Town East Mall, Wichita, Kansas, whereas Superstar Sports, where every fan is welcome.
All right, college game day of the week. We have the Penn State Nittany Lions going against the Michigan Wolverines. Shout out to LT, big maize yellow Michigan hopeful, and also our friend Chuck. I know in your heart, Chris, you got love for Michigan. I can see it.
No,
I can just see it.
There is none.
All right, who are you taking and why?
Well, I certainly cannot take Michigan, so I'm going to go Penn State. Michigan probably looks like the better team. I'm sure they're the team with they're the favorite, but I got to go Penn State because I cannot pick Michigan as a Buckeyes believer.
Give me Michigan at home. The spread is 6.5. I think Penn State covers that, but Michigan wins.
I'm also going to go Michigan.
Oh, Michigan, overall better team in my opinion.
My heart goes out to Penn State, but my wallet tells me Michigan. It's just Michigan's playing great football right now. They're top 10. This is going to be a true test for Penn State because if you can't beat Michigan, there's no way you're going to beat Ohio State. And that's been the plague of Penn State. They just they got to knock out these two teams to be prominent in the Big Ten. So Penn State, I'm rooting for you guys. But I think Michigan's going to win. So we'll just leave it at that. All right, let's go ahead and give a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Well, I don't know about you folks, but here at Sportsfellas, things can get, well, a nice right funk going on sometimes. And in that time of need, we turn to our friend Kimberly Sampson, our own personal Cincy independent consultant. She is our favorite star consultant, so for your scent needs, get a hold of Kimberly at heavenlyscentswithkim@gmail.com or visit her website, heavenlyscentswithkim.cincy.us. You can also call her at 316-282-7363. That's Kimberly Sampson at Cincy, our favorite independent consultant.
All right, you guys, now we're diving in to Week 6 picks. It's been a lot of controversy this past few games here with the refs, with just personnel, game plan decision, injuries. But we're going to go ahead and see what is in store for us for Week 6. So let's go ahead and kick it off with Kyle's team, the Washington Commanders. Thursday Night Football going against the Chicago Bears. Who are you taking, Kyle, and why?
The Bears. I can't keep picking the Commanders. It's embarrassing to watch them. 3 weeks in a row, embarrassing. Carson Wentz's indecision or just wrong decision. 3 plays from the one, and you can't get it in the end zone. That's embarrassing. That's a game they could have won, and they're on the road. Give me the Bears.
Oh, this is a tough one. Yeah, you can't really rely on Carson Wentz that much. And even their coach, that's just the coach saying that just shows, how they're not there for each other. He shouldn't be saying that about his quarterback, even if it is true, But, man, just what's going on, I'm going with the Bears on this one, definitely. They're at home.
Yeah, and I know Rivera came out and said that he talked with Wentz and apologized and said, he shouldn't have done that. But still, like you said, I mean, just the fact that he even had something to say like that. And Wentz, not so much his fault there at the end of the game. Like, why did you say, my Bengals did the same thing. Why did you call 3 pass plays at the 1 yard, 2 yard line? Like, give them a chance to push it in. Like, you should be able to get this in, just hammer it in. So, although a lot of their problems are Wentz's, I don't necessarily blame him I blame him for that interception he threw. He just did the same throws 3 times in a row. But really, the main reason I'm going to go Chicago is because they're the home team on a Thursday night, and I pretty much roll that way.
I'm also going to go Bears. To be honest, I just have more faith in them winning this game. But yeah, Bears at home, I'm going with them.
Well, the Bears are going to be rocking their new alternative color helmet tomorrow, the orange. I think that's going to look slick, nice. But I'm going to be a little different. I'm going to go with the Commanders. Here's why. This is why. Because Chris nailed it on the dot. Go back to the run. Go back to the run, Ron Rivera. Go back to the run. Carson Wentz has already proven to you already he's not the quarterback you want. You just got to play with the cards you're dealt with. And also, you've got your wide receiver core, Curtis Samuel, and then you got McLaren. You guys have not bad. But we already know Thomas is out for tomorrow's game. But still, they need this win. This is a statement game for Washington. They need a win because they cannot keep falling behind the NFC East right now with the hot teams of Philadelphia and Dallas. So I'm going to take Washington. I'll be different on this one. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the Baltimore Ravens going against the G-Men of the Giants. Travis, who are you taking?
I'm going to go Baltimore in this one. Lamar Jackson's been on, off, but I feel like this is a week that he's going to be bouncing back, and a strong win on this one.
So Giants are 5.5-point underdogs at home. I like that spread for them to cover.
For sure.
But the Ravens will probably win this game. They're just the more talented roster. But Brian Dable is proving that he's a head coach in this league without question with what he's doing with the Giants.
Oh, yeah, going back to what both of y'all said, it's definitely the Ravens. I don't see the Giants pulling out a win against them.
I actually am going to go with the Giants. They shut down Rodgers last week in London. Kevin Thibodeau's, he's a beast on that defense now 2 weeks back, and he's starting to show out and really settle in he's a rookie, so give him a little more time. And Barkley, man, he's eating. It seems like here the last few weeks, a lot of teams have had trouble scoring. The Ravens being one of those. They scored 19 points this last week. I think they only scored 20 points against Buffalo, all in the first half. They've kind of been, yes, Jackson is playing well and they are doing well, but they're not some runaway offense that can't be kept up with. And I think the Giants are a little bit underrated on defense and offense. Look, guys, they're 4-1. They're a real deal. They're 4-1 over 3-2. They're the home team. I think they are going to win.
Here's the thing. Baltimore, they look different now that Dobbins is back. So that takes a little bit of the pressure off of Lamar Jackson. I just feel when Lamar doesn't have to do too much, they play different. And right now, they did a great job the week before covering Mark Andrews. The Bengals, you guys let that game go. You guys should have beaten Baltimore. You should have beaten them.
Like I said, three passes on the 2-yard line.
And here's the thing. Wide receiver core, they're not bad. They're not top 10 wide receivers. But here's the thing. Lamar Jackson, you give him the ball. If he feels confident and he's taking control of the game, he's going to torch the Giants. But I do like the Giants secondary and their corners. They're doing a great job. Got to hand it to them. The Dallas game, well, that's a different story. But right now they're hanging. I think they're in third place right now in that division, but they can still creep up. But I'm going to take Baltimore in this game. Next up, we have a divisional showdown in the AFC South. We have the Jaguars against the Colts. Tristan, who are you taking?
I'm going to take the Jags. The Colts, their offense has not been getting anything going. We saw that during the Broncos game. We saw that the week before. We saw that the week before. Like, they haven't been able to do anything offensively. And although Jacksonville, they started off hot, now they're playing a little slower. I think they'll bounce back this week. Trevor Lawrence will get it going, and, they'll make something happen.
I'll take the Jaguars as well. They've just looked better all year. No, not one game, not even the Chiefs game that they won. I can't look at the Colts and say they were the better team on the field that night. They just haven't looked great as a whole. They're 1.5-point favorites at home. The home team normally gets 3 points just for being at home. So that kind of tells you how Vegas feels about this game. So I'll take the Jags to win.
I'm also going to go Jags. Their defense has been pretty well, doing very, very well this year. Colts offense didn't really do much against Denver last week, and is kind of sad to watch that. But yeah, going to Jags on this one.
Yeah, I just don't have any faith in the Colts right now. I mean, they haven't really done. I know they got that one win against KC, but that was more KC than them. So until they start proving otherwise, I'm going to go the other way and say Jacksonville. I think they are on the up. I don't know what happened to them. They got a little snake bit on this last week against Houston. Apparently, they've lost. Like that's their 9th straight loss to Houston. They just can't beat Houston, and Houston hasn't been good for a while. So anyway, I'm going to go Jags.
This game is going to drive me nuts, especially if you are making bets on this game. Because the thing is Jacksonville is inconsistent, up and down, up and down. And Indianapolis, they're not the team that we thought they were. I mean, yes, that big win against Kansas City. It's like, but they should be good. And that Broncos game, that was a fluke. We know very well that Broncos game, they lost it more than Indy did. But Jacksonville, they're playing a little bit more confidently going in. And I'm going to take Jacksonville on this one. Next up, we have the New England Patriots going against the Dog Pound, the Cleveland Browns. Kyle, who are you taking?
Browns 2.5-point favorites, and I will take them to win this game. New England is coming off a dominant performance over the highest scoring offense in the league. Mm-hmm. That's impressive, but they are on the road against the Cleveland Browns team that could have beat the Chargers.
Should have,
a missed field goal, but I still have faith in Brissett. Revenge game, ? Against the Patriots.
Oh, yeah, I'm going with the Browns as well, man. I agree. They should have beat the Chargers. That would have really been nice. But I like that run game, and, I think it's going to be a close game, probably by a field goal.
Look, guys, the Browns are the Browns. I'm going Bailey Zappi all the way, New England.
I'm also going to go Browns. Yeah, their run game is just too good to pass up on. And Jacoby Brissett, I feel like he won't have as many mental errors, throwing an interception late in the fourth quarter, and hopefully their kicker can actually kick it this time.
This is a funny game because Bill Belichick, he's got a soft hatred spot for the Cleveland Browns because he formerly coached over there, and he does well against Cleveland. And the thing is that he's going to go in. He's going to set up a game plan specifically for Brissett. Now, the question is going to be, is New England going to be able to contain the pass rush? Are they going to be able to stop the rush against them and then rely on the run game? And also, as well, they just picked what's his name's coming back from injury? Harry, the wide receiver. What's his name?
N'Keal Harry?
Yes, he's back from injury. And so I'm going to go ahead and take New England on this one. I just think Bill Belichick's going to want to just get back in the AFC East because right now he's not even talked of because they're letting Buffalo and Miami kind of take all the talk. So he's gonna go incognito mode there. All right, next up we have Chris's team, the Cincinnati Bengals, going against the New Orleans Saints. Chris, who are you taking?
Who day? You know who I gotta take.
I was just asking.
With a little analysis, I think I think a lot of us took the Seahawks last week, but and New Orleans came out and showed some stuff with Dalton and especially Taysom Hill. My goodness, but I think Cincinnati's defense is quite a bit better than the Seahawks, and so I think they're going to be able to keep pace and go for a big win. Cincinnati has a pretty good track record against New Orleans, especially in New Orleans, putting up some big yardage and points. So there might be some prop plays for those bettors out there in this one to look at. But I'm going to go Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah, Cincinnati, man. New Orleans has not looked very good, besides when they had Taysom Hill get like 4 touchdowns. But, man, it's Cincy. I don't see how Cincy can lose this game.
Cincinnati, well, they are 1.5-point favorites now on the road against New Orleans Saints, and they will win this game. New Orleans, even though they look good against the Seahawks, that Seahawks defense is not good. So I don't know how much stock you put into that. I did say last week Dalton should continue to be the starter, and I think he solidified that, at least for now. And the Saints looked as best they have all year, but I don't think it's good enough to beat a team like Cincinnati.
I'm also going to go Cincinnati. The Saints have been giving up too many close games, and I feel like this is going to be another one that they give up.
This is going to be for a homecoming, especially for the players from LSU. Mm-hmm. I mean, especially with Chase
Burrow
and all those guys. And the thing is that Cincinnati needs to get back. This is another hurry kind of statement game because the thing is right now Baltimore, they're finding their way to kind of get back into the AFC North, and they just can't let this game slide. So this is a critical game for Cincinnati, and so I'm going to take Cincinnati. Next up, we have the Buccaneers going over to see the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kyle, who are you taking and why?
Tampa Bay. Coming off of the worst loss of Tomlin's career against Josh Allen, they're facing another high-powered offense and a top-notch defense, still with a rookie making his second start and a struggling running game. That is not a recipe for success. 8.5-point favorites on the road is Tampa Bay. I don't want to mess with that spread at all, but Tampa Bay's going to win this game.
Oh, yeah, Tampa Bay. Much better team overall, defensively, offensively. They're definitely winning this one.
I'm also going Tampa Bay. Leonard Fournette looked amazing last week. Had a couple touchdowns and over 100 yards total. And that Steelers defense, I just don't feel like they'll be able to keep up with all of Tampa's wide receiver core.
Yeah, you're looking at a Steelers defense that's really missing T.J. Watt. My goodness. I mean, Cam Hayward's still playing great. Minka Fitzpatrick is still strong in the back end, but, man, they are really missing the versatility and all the stuff that Watt does. And kind of for those reasons and the fact that Tom Brady, he's thrown the ball a few more times than Kyle Pickett, and that's why I'm going for Tampa Bay.
I don't know if the Steeler fans agree with me, but I feel like Tom Brady is a Steeler killer because every time he plays the Steelers, he beats them. He beats them in AFC Championship games, playoff games. And the thing is, Mike Tomlin has not found a way to beat Tom Brady. And so Tom Brady's going to get the best of him. Now, if Giselle ends up going to Pittsburgh, if she happened to be there could be a disruption there. But I don't see it happening. I just think that last week with Josh Allen torching their secondary, I just feel that even though Tom Brady don't have the rocket arm as Josh Allen does, but they can still spread you out. And plus, the wide receiver core is just going to give Pittsburgh a hard time. So I'll take Tampa. Next up, we have the 49ers against the Atlanta Falcons. Chris, who you taking?
This is kind of a tough one because I like Atlanta, especially at home, and San Francisco coming across the country, coming across a few time zones. You usually want to lean towards that home team and the time differential. But, man, San Francisco, their defense is just a beast, and Garoppolo's slinging it. So I'm going to go San Francisco.
Oh, yeah, San Francisco. Atlanta's not going to be able to get over that defense. And, yeah, San Francisco's got this one in the bag.
I'm going to take Atlanta. 5.5-point underdogs at home, and they would have had a chance possibly to beat the Buccaneers if not for that roughing the passer call on Tom. Well,
make believe
air quotes around roughing the passer.
Make believe.
There wasn't a lot there to make that call, but the Falcons are the only team in the NFL that has covered the spread in every game they've played, if that matters to you. Mm-hmm. And I think there's something to be said to that, but I think this is a game that the home underdog can win.
I'm going to go San Fran. That defense is just too good for Marcus Mariota to play against.
This is a tricky game. What I really like about this game is, well, on the Atlanta side, you don't have Patterson. He's still, in IR, and also Pitts has stepped up. Now the wide receiver Linden has not done much. He's been kind of declining, and the problem is that they're missing. What's his name? Calvin Ridley. They're missing him.
Oh, yeah.
When he comes back, get him in, get him under there, get them all reestablished, they're going to be a different face. But right now, San Francisco is playing with the hot hand right now, and they want the NFC West. And you can tell that they're getting very close. If they can just watch the Rams kind of just disappear. I mean, Arizona hasn't been doing much. It's theirs for the taking. Next up, we have the Jets going against the New York Jets, by the way. I mean, it got quiet here. You got all quiet.
Jets.
There you go. There we go. Going against the Green Bay Packers. Tristan, who you taking?
I'm going to take the Jets on this one.
Oh.
Yeah. The way Green Bay played last week, they couldn't get past that New York defense and made some silly mistakes. And, the Jets have been hot. I've been liking how they've been playing, and Sauce Gardner proving why he's that, their round one pick. And I like the way they've been playing compared to how the Green Bay's been playing. So I feel like they're going to be able to stop, clearly Green Bay's offense. And they're going to get that their offense going instead because they got a great backfield and they got some weapons, and they've been playing really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like Breece Hall as well coming out of the backfield. I mean, he is a game-changing back, and Sauce Gardner has really been a game-changer on their defense.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's shutting that side down. And Zach Wilson's finally seems to be getting control of his legs and arms, and except for doing the gritty, I still can't get that out of my mind. That was bad. But my head kind of says Green Bay, just coming off of a pretty tough defeat in London, and Aaron Rodgers doesn't like to get shown up, but I really think he's having some problems with his wide receivers, and New York's backfield is pretty strong, and I don't see them getting a lot of openings, which is going to cause trouble for Aaron Rodgers, because the Jets do have a strong defensive line, and they're going to be getting after him. So I'm going for the Jets.
This game goes one of two ways. Packers are 7-point favorites at home, by the way. Now, that's a pretty big spread considering how last week went for them. They had a emotional game against the Pats on the road in overtime, and then, well, I think they were at home, but it was an overtime game, and then they went to London and had another close game where they couldn't put up any points in the second half. Give me the Jets. But the other outcome is that Green Bay laser focus in, they run the ball, emphasize run the ball, and then they blow the Jets out. But give me the Jets winning this game. Robert Saleh's changing the culture there, and they are a fun team to watch.
Yeah, I got to go Jets. The Packers they're just not the same as they used to. That wide receiving core has gone downhill. And yeah, I got to go Jets.
As we all know, well, maybe they don't know, who knows, but the coach of the Jets used to be the defensive coordinator, if I'm not mistaken, for the 49ers. So he's well aware how Aaron plays, and he has his number. So if they can emphasize that game plan, that blueprint, and match it up to Aaron Rodgers, to get at Aaron Rodgers, disrupt him, he'll struggle because he doesn't have that top-notch wide receiver. Now, if they go to the run game, which is safer, that's a little bit on the safer side for Aaron Rodgers. But looking at it like this, the Jets are playing with confidence right now. In a sense, they don't got really much to lose. I mean, they're kind of like, okay, hey, let's see where we stack against this elite quarterback. So I'm going to take the Jets. Why not? I got nothing to lose. I mean, I'm kind of behind anyway here. So, all right, next up we have the Vikings going against the Dolphins. Travis, who are you taking?
I'm going to go Vikings on this one. They did have a close game against the Bears, but I feel like they can get that passing game going. And Tua's going to be out still. So Teddy Bridgewater versus Kirk Cousins, I'm going to go Kirk.
I'll take the Vikings, too. Dolphins are 3.5-point dogs at home, and I don't think that matters. They just got embarrassed by the Jets, albeit they had a third-string quarterback in. And I'll give them a little bit of grace for that. But I just don't think they have the juice, and Minnesota is a Super Bowl contender, so give me Minnesota.
I wouldn't say Super Bowl contender, but they're taking that division. Okay, so, maybe at most.
Tristan, you were doing just fine, and then you start with your negative talk.
Okay, no, but even saying that about Minnesota, I got Minnesota on this one. Dalvin Cook finally he hasn't been doing bad, but he had his breakout game last week. He played great, and they still got Justin Jefferson, phenomenal. They still got everybody on offense. Their defense looks good, and I would be picking Miami if Tua was in, but, we see that without Tua, they can't utilize Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle enough, so they have to line that run game in. Man, yeah, it's definitely Minnesota this week.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if Teddy Bridgewater is playing this week. I don't know where their injury concerns or not, but Skylar Thompson he's a third string. What was he, 7th rounder, or was he a free agent? He's just not. He needs a lot more time before he's ready. He had a few good-looking plays, but for the most part, he was obviously overwhelmed by the speed and such. And I just don't think they can keep up with the offense that the Minnesota can put together. So I'm going to go Minnesota.
Minnesota, they drive me nuts. Dalvin Cook, I kept saying he doesn't run the ball. He's not doing well. And guess what he does last week? He finally does what I've been telling. So I know he heard the show, and I appreciate you, Dalvin. I appreciate you because you listened for once. This is a real tricky situation again because the thing is that Minnesota offensively, they've got more weapons going in than Miami. I mean, of course, you've got Tyreek. Yeah, well, that's fine. And then running back monster, what's his name?
Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, he had a great game last week. I mean, for fantasy purposes. But the thing is against Minnesota, and it's not a primetime game. So this is perfect for Cousins because you know how terrible he is in primetime. I'll take Minnesota on this game. Next up, we have the Carolina Panthers going against the Los Angeles Rams. Travis, who are you taking?
I'm going to go Rams. They played horrible against the Cowboys last week. I feel like this is going to be their bounce back week. Baker's dealing with some injuries. I think it's his ankle, but I'm going with the Rams.
I'll take the Rams too. Now, mind you, they are minus 10.5. They are 10.5 point favorites after getting blown out by the Cowboys. Now, Matt Rule was finally fired. We've talked about it the past 2 weeks.
Good job, Kyle.
He was the problem.
Absolutely.
And Coach Rule, you're more than welcome to come to the show. State why you should have been fired, but we're not going to agree with you. But we'll be nice. I mean, this is a family friendly podcast.
He can state his case for Nebraska head coach.
He's a great college coach, just maybe not fit for the NFL. And now they have to get their interim in there, and then they're going on the road.
Yeah.
It's not a winning formula, so to speak. Now there's talks of a fire sale, so give me the Rams in this one.
Oh, yeah, Rams. You know, Kyle said it, you know, what I was thinking, what everybody's thinking, I'm sure. Yeah, it's definitely the Rams on this one.
When you were saying Baker's got an ankle injury, and he hasn't practiced, I think, this week yet. So he's still up in the air. They're saying there's a chance he could play, but there's a higher chance. I think P.J. Walker is going to be the starting quarterback, which I don't know, could be good for him actually. But I think all those things that Kyle was saying, new interim head coach traveling across country, all the stuff that's coming in. You got the Rams. They're coming off a big loss. They're going to want to step up. They want to show that they're still the defending champions and come up out and show out and get a W, get back on the winning track. So Rams.
I got to agree with you guys. I want to go for Carolina. I so do, but it's just Christian McCaffrey, Hubbard, they're not really doing much on the run game. DJ Moore's been quiet. Robbie hasn't really done much. And they just, defensively, they can't stop nobody. They can't even stop the wind. I mean, that's how good it is. I mean, the wind is just, they're undefeated when it comes to Carolina. So I'm going to take the Rams on this one. We have an NFC West showdown. We have the Cardinals against the Seahawks. Chris, who are you taking?
I really liked the way the Seahawks were playing last week, so I'm going to go with the Seahawks. Geno Smith's still lighting it. I know they didn't win, but he's still lighting it up, still firing it. I mean, just on all cylinders, it looks like hitting receivers, just beautiful throws. So I'm going to go, and Arizona, you just never know quite who's showing up and when and how they're going to play. So I'm going to go with Seattle here. Big upset loss.
Yeah,
win.
I agree. I'm going with Seattle. I was not expecting Geno Smith to play this well starting off the season. You know, he's been keeping it going, been keeping it pretty consistent. I like how he's been playing. You know, that still a terrible defense, but I think that they'll be able to pull out against Arizona this week.
I'll take the 2.5 point dogs at home in Seattle. Arizona looked really good in the second half against the Eagles, I would say. And they did have a chance to tie it, and they even might have had a chance to win it if Kyler would have known where the first down marker was. But that's a different topic to cover. I'm going to take Seattle. You know, Geno, a lot of people wrote him off. He ain't right back yet. Love that, the way that this Seahawks offense is playing. I think they can go toe-to-toe with any offense. It's just if the defense can come up with a few timely stops, they have an opportunity to win this game. We need Seahawks.
I'm going to go with Seahawks also. The game's probably going to be very close to the end again, just like Arizona's game last week. But, yeah, I think Kyler Murray's still missing DeAndre Hopkins a little bit too much, so I'm going with Seahawks.
Time decisions here. Arizona, they've had some wins against. They take advantage of the teams that capitalize on mistakes. So they capitalize on mistakes. Mm-hmm. Seattle can't stop it. Their pass rush is terrible. They get points ran up on them. But for some reason, and I like how this was brought up, Geno Smith keeps them in the game. And even though they lost to New Orleans last week, they were still in the dogfight. And then look against Detroit. They went toe-to-toe. It was like a shootout. This game's going to be a little different. They're going to be familiar with one another. And Pete Carroll has played against Kyle Murray plenty of times. And so I'm going to go ahead and take Seattle at home. Hopefully that will get them kind of back on track. But we know Arizona's the better team. But I'm going to take Seattle. Next up, we have the Sunday night game. We have them boys, the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, against the Eagles Fly of the Philadelphia Eagles. Chris, who are you taking and why?
I am going to take Dallas. Their defense is legit, man. Micah Parsons is a stud. And the offense is doing just enough. Cooper Rush is protecting the ball. He's being a good game manager. And they're doing just enough, making a few plays here and there and really just letting the defense stop the other team. I think that's going to happen. I think we've seen a couple cracks in Philadelphia the last couple weeks, even though they pulled out some wins. But I don't think it's going to be enough to stop Dallas. I think Dallas is going to get just enough to pull this out. So Dallas.
This is a tough one. I think they both have great defenses, but clearly the edge goes to Dallas. But I'm going to pick the Eagles because they got a better quarterback in Jalen Hurts. They got a better receiver in A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. I like those receivers better. I just think it's what defense is going to show out. I think it's going to be a really close game. And I think Philadelphia can overcome that Dallas defense. I think they'll be able to get into either the end zone or, field goal range, and that they're going to come out with that victory.
So two things. There's only one defense in the NFL through 5 weeks that has held their opponents to one touchdown, and that is Dallas. Mm-hmm. And the Eagles' offense in the second half this season has just been atrocious. Third, fourth quarter, they just can't find a way to move the ball effectively and get in the end zone, and that can be a problem against the defense that's only allowed one touchdown to every opponent that they faced. Dak is throwing, but they are moving forward with Cooper Rush, is what McCarthy said. Mm-hmm. This may be a cop-out. If Cooper Rush goes out there and loses, they can start Dak without any kind of controversy. Mm-hmm. Minus 6.5 at home for the Eagles, but give me the Cowboys. I think they're effective.
Real quick before I get to Travis, are you going to be a Cowboys fan now?
Absolutely not. No. I almost puked a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
I don't know if you could hear me or not.
Go ahead, Travis.
I'm gonna go Eagles. I feel like this is where Cooper Rush starts to decline. I feel like he'll make a couple of big mistakes against a big time divisional rival. I love the Eagles winning this game.
Great point. Here's the thing, though. This is going to be a trap game, and let's look at it. Let's just broaden it out as quick as we can here. So let's look on the Dallas side. Okay, Cooper Rush, undefeated. That's awesome, right? Undefeated as a starter. Mm-hmm. Now, do you sit there and say, oh, he's made spectacular plays. He's done this. He's done that. No, he's a good game manager. Mm-hmm. Now, let's look at the cons here. Zeke has not really done much. That's bad. Pollard is looking much better than you are. But we're in a situation where in the NFC East, someone's going to be on top. This is a game where who's going to be on top? You got Michael Gallup that's back. CeeDee Lamb that's back. They can torch that secondary of the Eagles because it's like what Kyle said. They give up a lot. Now, Jalen Hurts has put his – now let's go on to the Eagles side. Jalen Hurts has carried his team. And Miles Sanders, once he's got the opportunity, the guy can run. If they drop back, he'll run. When they're playing up, okay, well, we'll just get A.J. Brown. It's a chess game of now coming down to the trenches on the defense. Micah Parsons is going to be eyeing Jalen Hurts. So if you're going to run the ball, go for it. Try. Let's see what you're going to do. But here's the thing, and Kyle nailed it on the dot. Dallas has found a way to only have one touchdown against them. The Giants game proved to me that these guys, when they were shutting down Shepard, when they were making sure Saquon wasn't doing much, was he even a factor in that game? No.
Not really.
So here's the thing. Dallas has everything going for themselves. And if I was Jerry Jones, shout out to all the Cowboy fans out there, especially Gutta, Luis, and the Brooks family. Here's the deal. I know this. You like controversy, Jerry Jones. I know you do. Trust me. I've listened to you through many years. Don't be stupid. Please. If Cooper Rush is getting the job done for you guys, if it's not broken, why fix it? You're the one that wrote that check to Dak. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying it's Dak's fault, but look at the chemistry that's going on right now. This team is rallying behind Cooper. So why take that away? Drissen's still a young kid, but he don't remember that. No, he wasn't even thought of yet in this time. Who remembers in 96 when the Kansas City Chiefs were on a roll? No, 96, 97 season when the Chiefs were on a roll. Rich Gannon, was getting the Chiefs by. But guess what Marty Schottenheimer does? He benches Rich Gannon and puts in Elvis Grbac. And who wins the game? The Denver Broncos. And then it just goes to show that when you're trying to fix something that's not broken, it can cost you.
You're going to break it.
Yeah. So this game here, I'm going to go ahead and take Dallas. I'm going to take Dallas. It won't be an easy game. I'm going to call it out. Whoever capitalizes on turnovers, that's going to be the game winner there. So, all right. This is it. The game of the week brought to you.
You wanted to skip your team?
We're not going to talk about them.
Oh, yeah. We already know who's going to win that.
All right.
We know who's going to win that week.
Okay. Okay, since we're putting it out there, before we do the game of the week, we have the Monday night game. You see how I was trying to skip really fast? Good job, Tristan. Good job.
Can't let you get out of this one.
All right, gotcha. So we got the Denver Broncos going against Travis's team, the Chargers. Be my guest, Travis. Who are you taking?
Obviously the Chargers. As Chris Collinsworth said last year, this is the Justin Herbert show. So I feel like Justin Herbert's going to have a big game. I feel like Mike Williams is going to be quiet because of Patrick Surtain. I feel like he'll be on him most of the game. He's been a lockdown this year, but I feel like the Chargers are going to take this one away.
-5.5 favorites at home are the Chargers. I'm kind of surprised it's that low, the way that Denver's been playing. I guess it's because most of their games have been fairly close. I think their worst loss was to the Raiders by 10 or more, but everything else has been within, almost a field goal, I think. So I'll give them credit for that. Their defense is playing really well, but they're just going to be overmatched. And that story came out about Russ's torn lat, which kind of makes sense. He is known for having a really accurate deep ball, and it just hasn't been there this year. So it's supposed to heal naturally, but not that quick. So give me the Chargers.
I'll make this simple. Russ can't score, and Herbert can. That's why LA's going to win.
That's pretty simple. I like that reasoning. I'm going to go with LA.
Oh, where do I start? Where do I end? Here's the deal. Both sides, Denver, Russ, and I was talking. Shout out to our friend Kyle. He's kind of struggling as well with the Colts, and I'm struggling with Denver here. I was just telling him there's some factors here. I think mentally, he's probably dealing with a lot with his wife right now. I think his insecurities is getting to him. I wonder if he's really focused on the game, or he's too worried about what she's doing. I get it. Sierra's an attractive lady, respects to her, and I get it. She's in the music videos, doing the most, and you're sitting here stressing. Look at him. Look at how he was in Seattle in his prime years, and look at him now. He looks lost. He looks weary. I mean, it's not good. Russ is scaring me. He's not cooking right. He's not using the right stuff. The frying pan is overheating. It's sizzling. Kitchen. It's just bad. It's just a bad look. And the thing is, Melvin Gordon keeps dropping the ball. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And we lost Williams for the year with that torn ACL. And then Jared Jeudy. I mean, they're doing the best that they can. It's just offensively, Denver's a nightmare. They're a huge hot mess. And now over to the Chargers. The Chargers, you guys were in talks. We talked about this, Travis, multiple times that you guys are supposed to be the team that's going to give Kansas City a hard time. And again, we're not making it happen. We're not making it happen. And the thing is Herbert needs to get back on that. Let's get that magic going, because right now, no Keenan Allen. Just give the ball to Eckler. Try to make the points. Make it to where you take the pressure off the defense, because right now Bosa's still out. Am I right? Bosa's out, and Khalil Mack's been kind of, he's doing what he can. But I'm going to take the Chargers on this game. They're at home. Now we got all that mess. Let's dive into the game of the week, brought to you by Ernie Rellis at State Farm. Contact Ernie for your auto, life, and home insurance. Call him for a free quote. Thank you, Ernie. All right, Tristan, we have the Buffalo Bills going to visit
Chiefs Kingdom, baby.
The Kansas City Chiefs. All right. I'm going to start it off with you, Tristan. Who are you going to take?
I'm going to take, of course, my team. I ain't going to switch up on my team and take the Bills like that, even though they are a phenomenal team to watch and they're doing great. But, the reason I'm going to pick my team is because before we played Tampa Bay, we had that terrible loss. Colts, we played terrible. We played pretty bad against the Chargers. And then we came out and showed out against Tampa Bay. We're a great team. And I feel like this week it wasn't that great of a game by our defense, so I feel like we're going to bounce back, and we're going to play a great game against Buffalo. We'll get that. Besides our DBs, I feel like we have a good linebacking core and defensive line, and, the reason we got burnt so much was because it was Devontae Adams. He's tall, he's big, he's one of the best receivers in the league, and we kept trying to play one-on-one against him. That's terrible. I hope Spagnuolo learns from that, doesn't let that happen again, but this week, we're going to play smarter. We're not going to let that happen again. Man, we won't.
So the Chiefs 2.5-point underdogs at home.
Okay.
Kind of shocked to not see this be a PK or even odds, no favorite, no dog. If the Chiefs come out slow, like they did against the Raiders, this will go very, very poorly. The flip side of that is Buffalo, Josh Allen is their best running back.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason why, even if they do come out a little bit slow, like maybe a punt or two on their first drives, they'll be okay because Buffalo can't salt you away with the run. Singletary is not that guy. Zach Moss is not that guy. So you have a chance. If you come out like you did against Tampa Bay and you force, you play your game, you got this. So give me the Chiefs at home against the Bills.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs as well. The Bills looked really good against Pittsburgh, but I think that was more Pittsburgh looking really bad against the Bills for a few different reasons. And the Bills have shown some signs of weakness. Had a tough time with Miami, obviously lost to them. Had a tough time with Baltimore, even getting some points on the board partly because they don't have a really strong running game aside from Josh Allen. So yes, he's their best player, so he probably should have the ball in his hands all the time. But you've got an equally as good player on the other side who also knows how to spread it around in Patrick Mahomes. And it's really curious. I've heard a lot of talk now. You were saying the fire sale and Panthers with McCaffrey going to one of these two teams even, which would be just insane. I think either side you'd have to say is the automatic Super Bowl favorite if they were to get Christian McCaffrey. But they're two really equal teams. I think this is going to be a little bit of a home crowd advantage here. Obviously, Chiefs Stadium Arrowhead is extremely loud and hard to play through, and so I'm going to go with the Chiefs coming out. And it's probably going to be a close game, but I think they're going to pull it out.
I'm going to go Bills Mafia here. Okay. I feel like Josh Allen, he's going to want to get the revenge he deserves from last year. I feel like the Chiefs defense are going to focus way too much on Stephon Diggs and try and make sure he doesn't have a Devontae Adams performance against them. And I feel like Gabe Davis is going to have another top-tier week where he gets a bunch of yards and touchdown or two.
This is one of the game of the ages. Last year that divisional round game was phenomenal. Just holding on to my seat, just literally watching these guys just go at it. Here's the deal. No one is in the Mahomes category. I'm going to establish that right now. Mahomes is the evolution of the quarterbacks going forward.
Sure.
So fall in line, Josh Allen, fall in line, Lamar, and whoever else, because Patrick Mahomes now is the Tom Brady. When you wanted to go to a Super Bowl or you wanted to be somebody, you had to beat Tom Brady. Now in the AFC, you want to be there, you got to beat Patrick Mahomes. Now, that being said, last week, that Monday night game, again, Devontae Adams, phenomenal wide receiver, torched Kansas City. They can't cover elite wide receivers. Let's just be sincere about this. Not just Stephon Diggs. Now you got a big guy in Gabe Davis as well. Now you have to deal with double because their efforts is going to be now. Spagnuolo's going to try to do is now, okay, hey, you know what? We'll play it soft. We'll play maybe 1-2 man rush to kind of get Josh Allen out of his comfort zone. Because the game last year, they were struggling. You saw that. They were struggling. But then Josh Allen kind of picked up on, okay, I see what they're doing, so I'm going to start darting it. And it was just funny when that last touchdown that Devontae Adams got, it reminded me of Josh Allen last year when he had that touchdown. He knew, like, hey, if I get one-on-one, I got this. and they're going to give attention to Davis, but I think this is going to be Stephon Diggs' game. And here's the deal. Knox needs to step up. This is the game where he has to step up.
Sure.
Because they're giving up a lot in the air. There's no run game. So if Zach Moss decides, hey, you know what, or Singletary decide, hey, we're going to go run the ball, go ahead. You don't want Josh Allen to take hits, especially from Jones. Anyone. He wants to make sure he's sitting comfortably and going in. This is going to be a wonderful game. This is another game for the ages, especially being at Arrowhead. But I'm going to take Buffalo by a field goal.
Ooh.
I think I'm going to say Stephon Diggs is going to make a critical catch, and Bass is going to hit that field goal, and they're going to go home happy. That concludes week 6 of our following games. Let's go ahead and take a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Hey everyone, check out The Arsenal for all your nutrition and supplement needs. You can call them at 316-260-5567. Visit their website at thearsenalsups.com or visit their store at 215 South Mays Road, Suite 103 here in Wichita. Thanks, Arsenal.
All right, we got the DDK fantasy football lineup. Finally, Travis is back. We've been calling this show without you, so now it's in. So this is pretty simple. Tell me a player that you need to have in your lineup. I'll start this off with you.
A sleeper that you'll need in your lineup is Tyler Higby. He's someone that some leagues he's just sitting there in free agency. Man's put up about 10 points at least minimum every week, so he's a sleeper to have. A man to keep out. Chase Claypool, he really hasn't done much this year, and that's a man that you really can't rely on if you need a flex guy during these bye weeks coming up.
I have a few candidates, but with Rashad Penny going down, Kenneth Walker is that guy in Seattle, and I think he's going to go off.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody you need to sit, if you haven't already, is Antonio Gibson, running back for the Commanders. Brian Robinson Jr. is healthy, led the team in snaps, led the team in rushing attempts. He wasn't out there on some pass plays, but that's always been J.D. McKissick's role anyways. And so he kind of got acclimated to the NFL game, and then this week against Bears, he's going to go off.
Somebody start Breece Hall. You know how he's. Oh, I stole your man.
Just
yeah,
fine.
you have to start him, man. Like I think the way he's been playing, he's been because with Michael Carter back there, he's just been a high end RB2. But now after that breakout, I think everybody sees he can be an RB1. He's doing great. He's playing phenomenally. Somebody to sit. I'll stay with the Jets. Tyler Conklin. He played great. He's been playing great at the start of the season. Now he's not. He's dropping off. Last week he had 0 points and only like 1 target. So he hasn't been. Zach Wilson hasn't really been targeting him since he's been back, and I'd avoid him this week.
I'm going to go with a tight end. I'm sure he's out there. Evan Ingram for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He and Lawrence are really starting to get a connection together. He was the only one making plays in the Texans game for the Jaguars. Big, long, lanky guy. Can get downfield, make some hard catches. So that's what I'm going to go for. Tight end.
Is there anybody that you want to sit?
Anybody? Yeah, anyone that's not doing well.
Ooh, simple. I like that. Hey, simple as that. What can I say? Patrick Mahomes needs his sidekick. I would start Travis Kelce. If you have him, you guys are sold. Because here's the deal. This guy he's breaking records there. He's just Patrick Mahomes. That's just sidekick. I mean, it's just phenomenal that every time he's available, and especially going against that Buffalo defense, he's going to have some play. So I think he'll have maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns. Who I would sit, believe it or not, I would sit Christian McCaffrey. I just think right now Carolina is going to start changing up, and yes, I think it's out there. I think they're going to trade him. If they're going to start from scratch, he'll get traded. So that's my take on that.
No, I don't like that. Christian McCaffrey's the Don't listen to him, guys.
You know what? I'm going to censor you. You override me, I'm going to censor you, man. All right. Moving on over to Driz and Lowe's Players of the Week. Chris, who do you nominate for Players of the Week? Offense and defense.
Offense and defense. Well, offense, I don't know how anyone cannot go for this guy. Taysom Hill, my goodness. Ran 3, threw 1. And the one that he ran, I think it was the third one of the day, was like a 60, I think it was like 60 or 30. It was a long one, 36 yards, I don't know. But he was just tearing it up. on Sunday. So that was my offensive. Defense, I've said this guy's name earlier during the pick'ems. Micah Parsons, he's just a beast. He's eaten. He had a couple sacks, a fumble, forced fumble. I think 6 tackles on Sunday against the Rams. Yeah, man, that guy, he is winning. He's keeping Dallas on the positive side of wins right now.
All right, so for offense, I'm going to go with Jacoby Myers, wide receiver from New England. He came back, played phenomenally. Zappy and him were having something going there, and he played great. Huge reason why they won. And then, defense, I'm going to pick back off you, Micah Parsons. That's who I wanted to go with, so, there you go, got me there. But Micah Parsons, like he said, phenomenal player.
Josh Allen threw for nearly 400 yards, and he had 4 touchdowns. He did have an interception, but that was just dominant. Both of your guys' picks were great as well. Defensively, I'll piggyback Micah Parsons as that guy.
Offensive player of the week, I am going to go with Gabe Davis. 98-yard touchdown, 50-yard touchdown. He lit it up in fantasy football, destroyed my fantasy team, unfortunately. And then defensive player of the week, I'm going to go someone new. I'm going to go Stephon Gilmore. Game-winning stop against the Broncos, got him the dub, so I'll give it to him.
Well, I agree with you with Gabe Davis. I'll take Gabe. That was an awesome one-handed touchdown, and then being able to get that touchdown away when it looked like it was an interception, but he was able to get it. So I'm gonna take Gabe Davis offensively. Defense, Micah Parsons. There's just no doubt about that. Dude has changed the Dallas culture defensively. Where'd he go to college at? Penn State. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. So you know where they're coming from. So pretty much it looks unanimous. Defense player of the week is Micah Parsons. Congrats. Offensively, we need to make a vote here. So we have 2 for Gabe Davis. We have Josh Allen. You've got Jacoby Myers and Taysom Hill. We got to come to a vote. Who should be the player of the week?
I'll switch my vote to Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill.
I'm staying with Taysom Hill.
Gabe Davis.
Oh, that put you guys over it.
I'll keep it at Gabe Davis.
I'm going to take Gabe Davis as well.
Right.
You just can't. That's just awesome. So, all right, Gabe Davis and Micah Parsons are our Driz and Los players of the week. Now we're going to move on to our favorite show.
Who's hot?
Who's not?
Brought to you by Sierra Pacific. Contact Taylor Cross for your mortgage consultant needs.
This is still in the groundwork, so we're still working on it, you guys. So if we sound off, you know why. We're trying here. So I'm going to start this off with you, Drisson. Who's hot?
This is, I guess, a pretty obvious one, Dallas. I feel like after Cooper Rush went in, everybody's like, oh, man, their season's over. They're over, He came in, and then now he's, undefeated as a starter so far. And they came out and beat the Rams, who aren't a bad team, which, so, yeah, they're playing hot right now, playing great.
I'll stay in the NFC East. New York Giants. No one saw this coming from them, and they just beat a really good Green Bay Packers team. And they've had a lot of quality wins this year.
I'm also going to go Giants. They've been amazing. Beat the Packers. They've had a couple of upset wins that they have deserved.
I'm going with 3/4 of the NFC East. That whole division really surprised the snot out of me. Even really the Commanders being as bad as they've been this year has been a little surprising. But yeah, Dallas was one of my picks, and the Giants was another. But really, when you look at it, the Eagles, yeah, they haven't necessarily looked great the last couple of weeks, but they're still winning, and that's the definition of being hot, is winning. So I'm going with the NFC East as who's hot.
The thing is that when I had to sit back and think here, I'm going to stick with Buffalo. I just feel that Buffalo right now, they're just continuing to win. They're just getting better. But the test is here this Sunday against the Chiefs. We will now know where they're coming at. Yes, that loss against Miami kind of opened their eyes up a little bit, but they got humble. They went back and they took care of business. So that's the hot team to me. So I'm gonna take Buffalo. Now, who's not? I'm going to start this off with you, Chris.
Yeah, I'm going to say who's not, and I love that they're not, is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have just looked like just crud. They've still got some strong personnel there, but it's just been gloriously horrid.
I'm piggybacking off that. That was the team I was going to choose, Steelers. They're 1-4, and if you look at the schedule for the rest of the season, it does not look good for them at all. They're going to continue to lose, so they're not hot.
I'm gonna live in the NFC East and pick on my own team here. 1-4. They haven't won since week 1. Almost every game since then has just been embarrassing to watch. I mean, they're ranking in the bottom of the league in a lot of offensive categories. And when you got your coach calling out your quarterback, and then the reporter, they say, "What's separating you from your division?" You say quarterback. The reporter goes, "Yeah, but you picked the quarterback." Reality hits you right there. Right. And then you got to talk to your player, and then your star defensive player's like, "I'm not really worried about that. I'm just trying not to be the guy get called out." It's just embarrassing. It's ugly. It's a dumpster fire.
I'm going to go Panthers. They're not looking hot at all this year. It's week 6. They already fired their coach. Their team's already a disaster, so I'm going with them.
This is coming. This is coming. You know who has more strike wins than my own team, the Denver Broncos? Michael Myers. This guy keeps continuing. He's got more movies than wins for Denver. This is ridiculous. How is Michael Myers? This guy just doesn't quit. I just wish my team was like that. But I'll tell you why we're terrible. We just paid Russell Wilson $200-something million. You could use that money to clean up Colfax Street out in Denver. You could have done something there. You could have maybe paid a couple more players for the Colorado Rockies to become prominent again in baseball. I mean, the only thing good for them right now is the Colorado Avalanche. That's the best thing going for them. And I have to sit here and represent my team, and we got Melvin Gordon fumbling the ball like crazy. And then our coach looks lost. We look demoralized, and it's just questions all the way around. Mm-hmm. And now, I mean, who do you pinpoint? And now the thing is these owners, they're probably like, hey, I still got that rebate. I mean, no, I still got that receipt somewhere where I paid for this Denver Bronco team. You know, we're gonna run town. You know what I'm saying? You guys can keep it. This is just terrible. And we were so excited that the AFC West was going to give the Chiefs a run, but no. You know, now we got to let Kansas City still be on top, and well deserved to be on top, because their structure from management all the way down, they're in unison. They all are on the same page. Denver, on the other hand, I don't know. That was just a bad idea of paying Russell that kind of money. But
right before he started a game.
Right, that's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous, and so that's the not for me. So, but now we have to come to the conclusion here of who we're gonna choose. So, let's vote. Who's the hot team of the week?
I'm gonna stay with the Giants.
I'm good with Giants.
Yep, Giants.
Okay, I'll take the Giants. And then who's not?
The Broncos. I changed it to the Broncos.
You just like saying that, don't you? I still like my Steelers, not my Steelers, those cruddy Steelers. My pick of the Steelers being bad. Man, there's so many bad teams right now, though. I feel like we didn't even throw out like the Raiders or Houston just because they won. But
Broncos makes up like 3.
Or Indianapolis. No one said Indianapolis, even though they won. But, I still got to say Steelers.
Yeah, I'll be with Steelers. That was my original pick. So.
I'll change if needed, but I'm just so disappointed in my own team. It's just hard. You can relate, Carlos, but
I'll go with the Steelers. They're not doing too well with their rookie quarterback. I mean,
I'm gonna stick with my Broncos. We
Steelers
have
still win.
Yeah, I know you guys
won something.
You guys, yeah. So you guys will take this one. I just still think Denver. I mean, because you guys got a rookie. I get it, but Najee Harris, there's no excuse. Last year he had a great season. He's not doing too hot this year. And then Claypool's not really doing much. But they got Pickens. That wide receiver Pickens, him and if they can just keep working together. I mean, because that's his second favorite star.
I think Pittsburgh Steelers fans are getting exactly what they asked for when they were chanting Kenny Pickett's name out while Trubisky was still on the field.
Poor Trubisky. He's probably right now filling up Gatorade.
He was still doing. He's not a great quarterback, but he was still doing better than what Pickett is. They were still in the games. In fact, they won one of their games with him.
We'll just have to see. Well, In conclusion, you guys don't forget, we also have our other shows. We have Wichita Vice, Silver Cosmo movie reviews. Now, Chris, you know we're going to do for Vice, we're going to do Black Adam.
Oh, that's going to be a good
one. And then we also will do the movie review of Black Adam as well. So
probably
tune in.
Maybe giving away something for those.
2 tickets.
Oh, see,
it's
Black
Adam.
Adam.
Not to Paradise, but to see Black Adam. So there you go.
That could be Paradise. We don't know.
Well, if The Rock starts to look like a joke in this movie, then no. But we'll just have to see. Any shout-outs before we go?
Yeah, just shout out to the crew. You know, I love what you guys do, Eric and Pal. Thanks for all your guys' hard work.
And shout out to you, Carlos. Thank you for having me on the show.
Shout out to Carlos and the crew. You guys are great.
Shout out to you guys. You guys are awesome for this.
I'm gonna have a couple shout outs. You know, I want to thank Dalen and his wife for helping us start up our new line there at TikTok. So now we're gonna have that and Instagram going now. So Powell and Eric, it's just been real tough trying to get this thing going, but you guys, we're gonna see this through and we're gonna see greener pastures, and finally we're gonna be able to reach new markets. So thank you guys for what you're doing. Also, thank you guys for taking the time to come out. I love sports, and this is one of my favorite times of the day, just to kind of get away from everything and just be able to talk some sports. Also want to give a shout out to the MLB right now. So right now, there's congratulations for you guys making it this far to the divisional round. To see the Mariners back in there, so that's kind of cool. And also now we have NHL, and we also have the World Cup about to come up pretty soon. So stay tuned to that. Other than that, thank you guys very much for what you guys do, and we look forward to hearing from you guys in the next episode.